Hey, this is Derek D-Train He2. Tonight's episode is brought to you by
KingTutGraphics.com. Are you looking for a better way to promote your business? Have you ever thought about a new sign, window film, clear coat, or even wrapping your vehicle? Think about it. All the time you spend in your car driving around Raleigh, North Carolina, a vehicle wrap can be working right alongside you. A clear branding strategy can make the difference between your next call or not. If you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, check them out at KingTutGraphics.com. Your satisfaction with their products and service is guaranteed. So go online to KingTutGraphics.com and check them out. Get a free quote and get started with KingTutGraphics.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Blue Line Hockey Club, folks. We have another exciting episode tonight, episode 77 coming at you. We got all the usual suspects sitting in with us tonight. We've got the IT guy, our local nerd on staff, Robbie Pete Peters. What's up, Pete?
Hey, how you mama, Dad?
And the all-around sports guru, Derek D-Train He2. What's up, D-Train?
What's up, sweeto?
And the star of the show, our producer, Uncle Lardy Sullivan. What's up?
Aloha.
The host of the Blue Line Hockey Club tonight, Mark the Doctor.
Doctor.
Tonight's interview is going to be brought to you by Branded Bills. Check them out, brandedbills.com. We have two special guests sitting in with us tonight. We have Jeremy Swayman from University of Maine. He was drafted by the Bruins, won a bronze medal with Team USA in the World Juniors. Came from Sioux Falls Stampede in the USHL. And we also have JD Greenway sitting in also from the Bears. And JD was also drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs. So a couple good prospects sitting in with us tonight. Going to talk some college hockey with these guys. And this season's just getting kicked off. So what's up, boys?
What's going on, boys?
What's up, man? How are you guys doing up there in Maine? You guys getting snow up there yet or no?
Close to it. We're getting the winter coats out pretty soon.
Hey, I lived in Portland, Maine for 4 years, right downtown Portland. It was a good time. I never made it up as far as you boys in Orono, but Portland's a good place for sure. Good hockey state.
Are the Pirates still out there?
The Portland Pirates are still there, yes.
I'm biased. Yeah, I think we played in that arena. I think it's the Cross Insurance Arena. Nice place. Yeah, I think Maine Mariners are there now. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. We had Danny Briere on his East Coast team. The Mariners are there. Yeah.
Well, they took it from originally my home state, the Alaska Aces. That franchise got sold to Maine, so Portland took it over. So that's how I kind of know the details on that one.
Nice little insider.
So what's it like playing hockey when you're not in the lower 48? What was it like playing hockey up in Alaska? Is it as popular? I mean, you would think it'd be super popular like Minnesota, New York with the weather conditions. Is the hockey up there like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely around the winter time, there's ponds basically at every corner. So for everyone to have a pickup game, it's pretty easy to do. And I think hockey's introduced at a young age there, especially. But I mean, as far as getting into competitive levels, there's only a select few travel teams just because either, travel times are pretty crazy and in order to get some good exposure, you got to do 4 or 5 trips a year. So I think, that's the route I definitely took. But, finally being down in the lower 48 is definitely nice to finally get in the hang of things with the hockey world.
So when you say travel teams, were you guys traveling down, like I said, to Canada and the lower 48 and shit?
Yeah, I've been to Canada a couple times, but mainly I think I've been to California probably 6 times in my career, just like an absurd amount. And went to Chicago a couple times. But yeah, mainly just whatever tournaments we could really get into. I think we just try to buy in and get a part of those.
Nice. Financially, it must be tough for guys to be able to commit to that, or unless their families can do it, or fundraising and stuff like that. I know the University of Alaska has a crazy travel schedule trying to get to their games too. Their budget's ridiculous. So it must be tough for people to get exposure up there.
Well, these guys play. You guys play Alaska right this weekend, so they're going all the way from Alaska to Maine. So huge traveling expense for teams over there, big time.
Halfway across the world.
Closer to go to Russia, right?
Exactly.
JD, you're taking a big step going from Big Ten to USHL, now Hockey East. You excited to play in Hockey East? You get to play in the Bean Pot, get to play at the Boston Bruins Arena, TD Bank North. You excited for little Hockey East? I know I am. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped to play in this league, right? I don't think we get to play in the Bean Pot, but there's a lot of good players that come out of Hockey East.
I don't know why I
too
said
far
Bean
north
Pot.
for
I just associate the Bean Pot with Hockey East.
He's a liberal. He's used to fake news.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, we got a good squad here. I don't know. I think we're still trying to find our feet. There's a lot of new faces, including myself. But we're doing all right. We got our big test is this weekend against Alaska on our home ice. So we're looking forward to that. Have a nice little get together after we sleep.
What's the buzz like on campus? There's a lot of people getting excited to pack the arena. What's the arena up there where you get boys play?
Alphon.
Does it get pretty packed in there, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's the best place in college hockey to play, without a doubt. Definitely big reason why I came here. Yeah, when we played what was it? New Brunswick. Yeah, we played New Brunswick. We didn't get. I mean, it was an exhibition game, so we didn't get like too many people, but it was electric in there though. The student section was pretty good. And I don't know. I got chills just going out there. First time being there, first time playing. It was awesome. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
A lot of locals too. Is it like half locals, half students, or what's the ratio?
I don't think. I mean, I haven't seen the full. Like it hasn't been filled out yet, right? I mean, first game. But like there was a lot of students there, locals. I mean. Yeah, I'd probably say it was 50-50. I'm not completely sure, but.
Well, it's funny, like, sometimes I'll be skating in the corner and I'll be on the student section side, so that's our second period. They'll get the balcony over us, and they'll do their chants or whatever, and everyone knows them. And then you see these, 80-year-old ladies, doing the chants with them, and it's just, so funny. Like, people have been coming for years, and, they just know every chant by heart, so it's, totally cool to be a part of that.
Yeah,
so Jeremy, you won a bronze medal. What was that like for the World Juniors?
Yeah, it was pretty special. I know that was the first time I think the Team USA has gotten a medal in back-to-back tournaments. So, we were definitely proud of that as a unit. But I don't know, just being able to play with, guys like Middlestat, Paley, and Ottinger, and just guys you've just kind of known in your age group that have been top dogs, and just kind of comparing paths and stuff. It was pretty cool. I learned a ton. The coaching staff was amazing, and that was a pretty special week.
You guys had an outdoor game, yeah?
Yeah, the outdoor game was electric, man. I got to sit on the bench for that. I got my hat on over my helmet. It was pretty sweet, man. It was just especially playing Canada too. It was wild. So.
Where was the tournament?
Buffalo, New York. Funny story, we were pulling into the game in the bus, and it was pretty snowy out, and our bus got stuck in the parking lot. And so people tailgating, legit Bills Mafia, there's 50 guys, and they started pushing us out, and everyone's on the phone taking snap videos of it, just dying laughing, and just got to relish the Bills Mafia for a couple minutes.
Nice. Then they got into jumping on their tables after that and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that with Brady Kachuk? Did you play with Brady? Or is that the year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was another guy.
Yeah.
Got to know pretty well.
He's doing pretty good. Well. Yeah, he is doing well, man. I think
Those
I think
Cub boys.
it was on the podcast here, and I think his couple people, in the media weren't really sure what his jump was going to be like, because he had a couple more years at BU. And I think me personally, I can call myself out. I didn't think he was going to do too well. I thought 2 more years of college hockey would suit him. But he's jumped right in with Ottawa, and not that Ottawa's got a lot of stars on the team, but done pretty well. He got a goal, 35 seconds into his first game for Ottawa this year.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
So boys, what's the outlook like for you guys this year? I know last year you were kind of mediocre, you know what I mean, as far as the record goes, but you didn't do as well on the road as you did at home, which maybe speaks to that environment that you talk about being at home at Maine. But what's the outlook like, man? Talk about it.
I mean, I think we got a good squad. I mean, like I said, we got a lot of new faces, including myself. A lot of freshmen that are expected to be playing and having a pretty positive role on the team. But the first couple of games didn't really go our way. But fuck, we're just trying to move forward and
that was Providence. They made the Final Four, so they're legit.
They suck to play against. They're just grinders, dude. Like, just I don't know. I hate
Welcome to
it.
Hockey East. That's every game.
Yeah.
No, it was cool though. Slow start, but we'll be the underdogs. I think we're like ranked like 8 by the coaches or some shit. So we're just trying to
you're not at the bottom here. That's good. Not at the bottom. So, and you guys come to our hometown. I don't know if Jeremy knows, but our hometown's where St. Lawrence University is, Canton, New York. So, most of us will be there to, at least half of us will be there to watch it, for sure.
Oh yeah, they just got a new rink, yeah. Not a new rink, but like they just upgraded it.
Yeah, total upgrade.
It's in the works. It's not completed yet, but I think they're gonna play like the first home game around the end of November or something like that. So I'm not sure when you guys play there exactly, but hopefully it's when it's kind of
Thanksgiving weekend they're playing up there. So
you might be playing one of the opening games.
Popping the chair, another cherry, JD.
Yeah.
Where are they playing right now?
SUNY Canton. Yeah.
SUNY Canton doesn't have a terrible facility though. They got a pretty nice one, but I mean, it's I don't know. I think what's that arena called out there? The
Rue House or some shit.
No.
The Rue Dungeon.
Appleton. I'm talking about Appleton.
Oh, Appleton.
Yeah. I guess if it's not done, they said that you guys are they're gonna do some ice in the parking lot or something, and
Pine Street Arena in Potsdam.
Hope for the best.
Plug the parking lot.
Get a couple toques for you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, but you guys might have the first game actually played at that arena after they're doing a pretty big renovation right now, and they're doing I think they're gonna do a ceremony to dedicate the rink, aren't they?
Oh fuck. Yeah, I think.
What? Lardy?
Yeah, it's gonna be called Lardy Arena.
I think it's going to. You're right, Mark. Joe Marsh, Derek might have more on that, but I think they're gonna. Are they renaming it to Joe Marsh?
No, they're not renaming it, but they're going to dedicate, I think, one of the locker room to Joe,
Joe
Marsh. And but yeah, I mean, it might coincide with you guys playing there, ironically. So
yeah,
I think it's the 29th. We play there the 29th in November.
Yeah, they said, I think I read an article that said they anticipate their first home game to be November 29th. So
there we go.
There you go.
There we go. Jeremy, we will be the guys behind the St. Lawrence bench that's standing. There's probably 15 to 20 of us, and we'll just be yelling. And now that you've been on here, we'll be yelling at you too.
I love it. Can't wait to meet you guys. I'm excited. Dude, when I played there last time, that place went nuts when my name got called.
Yeah,
dude, that was the sickest feeling I've ever had in hockey ever. Like,
Tom Pride.
That was unreal. I think Steve was just piss drunk. And just
we all were drunk as hell, just yelling. Timmy Olmstead was up there yelling as loud as he could. Yeah.
I love it.
Who's the big score? Who's the big scorer for you guys this year? Who should we be looking out for in Team Maine?
Who's your hot dog?
Side.
Schmitty.
JD.
I don't even know his full last name. So, yeah, Jacob Schmidt-Baystrup. He'll probably get some big power play goals for us. Yeah, he does have a shot.
JD, are you on the power play this year?
I am running it up top. So far, I could get the sniff anytime, but
No, he's there to stay. Don't worry.
So are the goalies splitting time, or are you going to be playing like a majority of the games?
He's playing every game that we have.
Jeremy, you played almost all the games last year, didn't you?
Yeah. He's the best goalie in hockey.
He's got a pretty
I hear
sick
that.
resume.
I hear that.
Sure.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I made him break a stick though over the phone.
Oh, we're gonna bring that up.
Still a little salty about me scarring on.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. You shot a puck up high.
No, we play like 3 pucks at the end of practice here and there, and I just put Jeremy's jock up in the third rafters. He's been pissed ever since.
Yeah, but ask him if he's scored ever since.
No, he's been shutting that die here pretty.
Must have been the new stick.
Yeah, after a new stick, that's for sure. That thing had to go.
So Jeremy, how's the traveling for you boys? You boys are pretty far north there. I know you take a bus to majority of your games, but you guys must fly a little bit, right?
Yeah, it depends on where we're going. I honestly don't think this year we're flying anywhere. But yeah, we're basically on the bus everywhere we go, unless it's like a West Coast game. Like last year, we went to NTDP for a game, and that was I think the only. Right? Yeah, we're busing to St. Lawrence, so that's gonna be a tilt.
So that's the far. Yeah, I'm looking at your schedule. That's the farthest trip you boys got.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. That's like 2-3 cans of Lardy max there and back.
Stop at the Reds and pick up some.
Pat will have some waiting for you.
How much is Lardy up there in Maine?
$9.
Whoa!
For a log?
A log. Actually, I'm spending $90 a week out here.
Holy.
Jesus.
Couldn't work that into the scholarship, huh? Bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna need 10 cans a week, Coach. Just make sure that's at my dorm. You get me that, I'm coming to Maine.
Should have worked something out.
So Jeremy, who do you want to play the most this year? Who do you look forward to playing? Boston College, I guess they're number 1 in the rankings in Hockey East. Or do you prefer not to look at them, or who are you looking to play?
No, I think just because of the rivalry, UNH is definitely by far my favorite game, being especially at home, just because it's like a whole week of hype, right? Like everyone that sees you is like, fuck UNH. Like it's just all over Twitter, all over Instagram. When we go there, it's like you just get booed the whole entire warm-up. It's the best feeling ever. So, yeah, that's a pretty cool rivalry. But, I mean, other than that, like, every Hockey East game is exciting, but I think definitely the rivalry week is the best.
When do we play them?
UNH? Let me check.
Yeah. You don't have our schedule up there, do you?
November 16th is Saturday.
All right.
Are they your traveling partner? You guys travel with them?
So you guys play them the 15th and 16th, November 15th and 16th before. Then you got Northeastern, and then you come up to St. Lawrence. So
yeah,
pretty tough game.
Does Hockey East have traveling partners like the ECAC where you play Friday, Saturday night, altering rinks, or how does that work?
No, not really. And at least for us, because we're traveling 4 hours, right? Like minimum. So maybe for the Boston teams, maybe, but not for us.
Yeah, I hear Jordan used to tell me that they would always play away and play home, play away, like do that stuff. But I mean, we're up in the boonies.
No,
I don't mind it though. It's actually unreal out here. Like even though it's like a smaller school, much different than Wisconsin. I don't know. It's just
there's something about it. Like, it's just like between the guys, just a lot of camaraderie and just like just like tradition and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing like college sports.
Oh, maybe it reminds me of home a little bit too, JD. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bigger out here, but yeah, it reminds me a little bit.
It's not hard to do.
Jeremy, so we know goalies are a little weird, man. So you got any weird habits and stuff that you do before the game, or any weird superstitions you gotta talk about?
Wipe your ass with the opposite hand.
Yeah, man, like, I don't know. I try to take pride in being one of the more normal goalies. Maybe JD has something else to say about that, but no, yeah, actually, I haven't seen him do anything weird. I mean, like, I think all of our goalies are pretty normal. Thiesen's the energy guy, so I mean, you could say he's weird, but I mean, in reality, he's not. Our goalies are pretty normal.
Something different.
Who paints your helmets, Jeremy?
We got a new guy this year, Jesse. Helmet Head, I think, or Jesse Custom Design. I think he's out of Mass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten my helmet yet. None of the guys have, so I would let you know, but I haven't gotten them yet.
We got a guy, Headstrong Graphics. Check him out, headstronggraphics.com. Paints a lot of players' helmets.
There's a lot of college hockey.
College.
Pro.
He's all over now. KHL, NHL.
You know,
Yeah, he painted my USA mask.
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
So you've heard of him, eh?
I think he is the certified painter or something. He just got that for USA or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I follow my Instagram. Got some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Look out, boys. Pretty.
How the women at Maine?
Jeremy's got a girlfriend.
Oh, here we go.
All right, I'll just ask JD then.
Freaking days of our lives. Friday night.
They're all right. I think no matter where you go, you're gonna find some good-looking girls, regardless. So, yeah, they're not terrible. Knock on a couple doors. Yeah. You'll just be walking down and just see like this random rocket. Like, where the hell did you come from? Yeah. I'm in psychology. I'm majoring in psychology, so every class I have, it just has all the girls in it, so it's not bad.
Keeps you going to class at least.
Strategic.
Yeah.
Makes you take a shower in the morning.
Sometimes. So are you guys the main sport on campus, or is it all D1 sports there?
Yeah, I think we have 17 D1 sports. So
Okay.
we're not the only, but we're definitely the favorite by far. Support-wise, everyone you talk to just lives and breathes Maine hockey. So pretty good feeling.
That helps out with the Rockets.
Yeah, it helps.
Shooting fish in a barrel. Take your pick, boys. Pretty exciting for you guys, I'm sure. I know I was in the college sports scene myself, and this time of year, right when the season was getting started, it was something that you waited all summer for and worked hard for and trained for. So I'm sure you guys are excited to actually get on the ice and play other teams and get out of the workout regimens and get started, right?
Yeah, I've basically been waiting 2 years, so I'm just pumped. Yeah, and I'm happy as hell to see JD in front of me, so I'm pumped too.
Great.
We'll be watching, boys. I definitely get a subscription and watch you guys all the way down here in North Carolina. I'm pretty excited myself.
Right on.
Good luck this year, boys, and we appreciate you taking some time. I think you're eating dinner right now, so it's probably a little cold, but it's been fun having you on, talk a little college hockey, and the best of luck in the Hockey East, boys.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. Good luck. We'll be watching.
All right, good. Thanks. I'll catch you guys later.
All right, then.
Take care, fellas.
Well,
Sweeto.
Oh.
There we go, boys. Couple NHL prospects from the University of Maine, Jeremy Swayman and JD Greenway. And, I think in a couple of years, we'll be talking to those guys about their professional careers. And, this college stuff will be behind them. Two great players, two guys that played for Team USA in their younger years, and two good Americans that hopefully we'll see in the NHL soon.
Yeah, and we had, it's weird. You always get a couple good players up there that play at Maine. Paul Correa was the big one that played up there. Jimmy Howard, who's been on the podcast here numerous times, actually took them pretty far. And I think Jeremy's going to be the next goalie besides Jimmy Howard, the next best goalie up there. He's got a huge resume. Watched a few clips of him on YouTube. Great movement and follows the puck well. And I mean, Derek said it a few times that he played all last year and did really well for being in a tough league and seeing a lot of shots. I like the University of Maine. I told those guys before we started recording that when I was a little kid, I always liked University of Maine. I always had the jersey, T-shirts, hats. It's just that I think the tradition way up there, the East, on the East Coast, way up north, New England states, that far team in Orono, Maine. I like to see that program get to be back to be, where it was when Paul Correa was there. But
Yeah,
I think I'm excited.
yeah. No, he's been. You're talking about taking a lot. This kid, man. Last year he got peppered with shots, man. If you look back at some of the games that he had, I mean, he took I think it was he had 39 saves when he came here and played against St. Lawrence, 44 saves when he played against UMass Lowell. I think he had a 40 save game against BU when they knocked off. I think they knocked off BU in that game too. They did knock off BU in that game.
Those are high shot counts.
Yeah, I mean, and then in a in a series against Boston College, he had 67 saves with 2 goals against. So, I mean, he's playing against top talent, man. He's getting peppered with shots, and he's standing on his head most of the time. So, between him and JD, man, it's kind of a neat outlook. I mean, I know they're kind of underdogs probably in that heavyweight division out there, but be neat to see him produce some good statistics out there.
They're ranked 8th this year. They're ranked ahead of UConn, Vermont, and Merrimack, which is not too bad. I mean, they're usually sitting at the bottom, so they're right below New Hampshire, UMass Lowell, which, Jeremy said New Hampshire and Maine is a big rivalry. So who knows? Maybe they could kind of move up one slot or 2 slot, but the powerhouses are always up there on top. UMass, obviously, who went to the national championship game last year, lost to Minnesota Duluth, the Bulldogs. Then you got BC and Providence, who Maine just played Providence and got their asses kicked. So it is going to be tough for them, but I can see them being in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, man. They knocked off UMass last year, and he had 53 saves in that game. So you never know, man. Let's look out for a good year from the University of Maine Black Bears up there. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and like you just talked about, all those saves that Jeremy's had for them, that's a game changer for a team like Maine. If you've got a goalie that can, put up 50 some saves in a game, that's going to that'll get you wins right there. You know what I mean? They're going to win those close games with a good goalie. And we talk about it all the time in the NHL. The teams that have these good goalies and have 2 good goalies are these teams that we think that are going to go to, far in the playoff runs and stuff like that. So it's a huge position to have a star player like him. And then to add JD this year, high prospect defenseman in front of them. They're going to have some good firepower on the D end. If they can just produce a couple goals here and there, those type of guys are going to win games for them.
Yeah, and
What was the turnout?
You look
what
at
was the
Maine
score of
real
those
quick.
Providence games?
7-0.
What was it?
7-0. I guess they were saying they were just, Providence made it to the Final Four last year, lost to UMass. So they're legitimate contenders again this year. So, and it's, Maine's first game. Like these guys said, there's a lot of new freshmen. I was going to say that Maine lost all their defensemen last year. So all their top, I think a couple were leading scorers on the team. So that's huge, huge void to fill, JD and a couple of freshmen. But yeah, they got beat up by Providence, but
Might be a good
Providence
thing
has,
though.
yeah, it could be.
You know, I mean, it might be a good thing to start out. You know, you go right into the, you know, into the fucking hornet's nest, basically, right from the get go. Give you a little wake up call, maybe get you back on, get you on your toes a little bit more for every game that you're going to play. You know, when you know what kind of shit you're up against week in and week out. So that it could end up being a good thing, man. Who knows? You know, it might be a little wake up call right in the beginning of the season to get them fired up a bit.
Spank their ass a little.
Yeah, it sounded like, I mean, to me, it sounded like JD wasn't exactly sure. He said they were grinders, right? And then Jeremy goes, "It's like that every night."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He's
Welcome to
getting a
Hockey
feel
East.
for it. Yep, welcome to Hockey East.
Yeah, and then when we got ECAC, that's kind of our backyard, right? We grew up in Canton, New York. St. Lawrence University plays there. I think they're at the bottom of the poll. New head coach, couple of, different head coaches in the last 4 years. Brent Brecky's the new head coach there now. They had Mark Morris, who will be coming on the podcast here in a couple weeks. And then prior to that was Greg Carville was the head coach, who is now the head coach at UMass. So they've had a lot of head coach changes there at St. Lawrence, bottom of the rankings. But the next town next to our hometown is Clarkson, and they're right up there. I think they're up there in the
10
national,
right now. Yep,
Yeah.
they're sitting 10 right now.
top 10 in the national polls. But Hockey East, they are in third place. So Cornell's number 1, and then I forget who's number 2.
In
Cornell,
the ECAC,
Clarkson.
you're talking.
Oh, I was
Quinnipiac.
talking overall. Yes, I'm sorry. ECAC.
Yeah, Cornell, Quinnipiac, Clarkson, Harvard, Yale. Those guys are the top dogs there.
Yeah. They don't. SLU, our hometown here, doesn't have a very good outlook in this preseason poll that they put out there. So Cornell's always a powerhouse,
right? Which could be a good thing. I mean,
yeah.
Only one way to go.
They've changed a lot of things, right? And when chemistry is right, they've got a lot of guys coming into that place that are looking to hustle. That they could surprise some people.
Yeah, they can only go up.
Yeah, and with a new coach, it takes a couple of years for them to develop a team. It's like you take Mark Morris out of the picture, who had some tough years after Carville left. When Carville left and went to UMass, they lost a bunch of players that left after he left, and then they had to rebuild from there. And Morris struggled, and then now Brent's building his team, right? So he's got his.
Yeah.
So he was over at Clarkson, right? So I mean, he was 10 miles away. He was already in the habit of scouting. He was doing the scouting for Clarkson, right?
Well, I think Mark was just saying to officially get through 4 years. So every kid on that team, you went to and talked to him and his parents, right? You went to his coach, or someone did.
Yep.
Yeah, developing the team, right? So you can't take a team from the cellar and to be expected to win the ECAC in the first year with the same players, and so I'm sure he recruited some guys. Yeah, but that's Lardy. Not too many people can do that.
I could take that team right to the fucking top.
Skate days.
But no, overall, I mean, what do you guys think? Minnesota Duluth is, on top to win that again. That'll be 4 times. If they make it again, it'll be 4 trips in a row to the East, NCAA Final Four Men's Division I Hockey Championship. I mean, what that head coach is doing out there, Scott Sandlin. I mean, a lot of people that I've heard, off social media, just things that went, with Butchergrass and all those boys in the national championship and the Frozen Fours going on, is that he runs a tight ship, and he expects, his players to produce, and they have to produce. I think kind of the same style Randy Brown did with us when we were younger, but I can honestly say, if they go deep again, and I don't know what Scott Sandlin's contract is with Minnesota Duluth, but with all these coaches leaving college hockey, head coach of New York Rangers, head coach of the Dallas Stars, head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. I think there's a couple more.
Minnesota Wild, I think, need to be looking for another.
But they're picking up these young guys, and mark my word, Scott Sandlin will be in the NHL here in a year or two.
Yeah, I mean, they are a powerhouse. If they do it 3 years in a row is tough.
No, 4 years. Could you imagine?
So when you have a team like that, and so you have, say, Minnesota Duluth, BC, BU, these top dogs every year, you can kind of look at the college football with Alabama, some of these like Ohio State, even Clemson these days. I mean, they're getting these top players because they are good, and these players want to go to winning teams. So, I mean, if you're that coach, it's a lot easier to get better players as opposed to like if Brent Brecky wants to get a top recruit at St. Lawrence, you know what I mean? So that's got to help him out.
Yeah, and I look at it as, look at UMass, right, Mark? You're a UMass alumni. It only takes one player to really spark that team, and I know UMass had more than one player, but Cale Makar, Hobie Baker winner last year, and now he's playing for Colorado. I mean, he was, when you watch UMass, it was Cale Makar out there. You were like, wow, look at that kid.
And that Leonard kid as well, who's back at UMass.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. He was, I think, their leading point.
Yeah, he's captain this year. But I'm just saying, Makar was, you usually just need like one, and I think it goes for college football too. That was just one player like Cam Newton for Auburn or something like that. You get that one star player. But you're right though. Usually it's those top teams win every year. But every once in a while, you'll get a UMass up there. You'll get a Clarkson up there, Nico Sturm, or you'll get a Maine team up there, with Jeremy Swayman. So every once in a while it happens. I just wanted to put that in there. You are right that usually the top dogs run the leagues, but every once in a while you'll get that team up that has that star player. Hobie Baker finalist.
Yeah, I root for the underdogs too. It sucks to see the same teams winning all the time. So, if the team like Maine is in the playoffs, who are you going to root for, right? Do you really want to see the same team win again, or the teams that are always in it win? I mean, for me, I'm always going to root for the underdog.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We're getting into a little NHL news here, Mark. Who's the NHL news brought to you by?
NHL news tonight is going to be brought to you by Branded Bills. If you haven't checked out Branded Bills yet, you need to get on their site. Branded Bills makes custom hats. They're actually doing some custom stuff for the Blue Liners here. Great hats. They have these leather patches that they brand with your logo on them, and their hats are just on fire. So if you haven't seen them, check out their website. If you've got a team out there you want to get hats for, and they're big stitches. They do states, like different logos of your state that you're from on the hats and stuff like that. So really cool company that's partnered with us. So check out brandedbills.com.
So, getting into the NHL season here, we're only 3 games in, right? 4 games in. And I think I was telling Rob before everyone got on to talk. I mean, I literally looked at the standings today and I was like, wait a minute, is this last year's or this year? Because Carolina's on top, right? Carolina was on top last year. Boston's up there. All these teams, the Maple Leafs are, Buffalo's up there. Maple Leafs are down low. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, the same things happening. And, who's the team? Not the Islanders. There's another team that's taking a jump up there in the rankings. But what do you guys think? It's crazy. Devils are down there pretty low, which I thought they'd be higher than that by now. But it's still early. But, Buffalo's on fire. I think they do this every year, so let's not jinx them, Rob.
It's like the Buffalo tradition in every sport, man. They get their fans all horned up, and then they just disappoint the shit out of them.
At least it's something for the poor bastards.
They had a 10-game win streak last year, and then, then what?
They were winning tonight. Did they end up winning that game? Let me check real quick.
I guess it's something for the poor Buffalo fans, right? So, At least get him
Yeah, they
involved
get
a little
5
bit.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Michael
we're
got 2 goals tonight.
Iko had 2.
How about for the New York Rangers, my favorite team in the league? But how about Mika Zibanejad, man? He in 2 games he had 8 points, man. 4 goals,
From
4
Rangers.
assists.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. He was just on fire, dude. It was just unbelievable. But I thought that was a pretty amazing thing that stood out as far as the Rangers go. But they look like a good little young squad, man. They're going to be. I think as the year goes on and they kind of start gelling together, the young guys, I think that they might be a dangerous team, man.
2 years,
just-
they'll be really good.
Yeah, not just coming
They
from a
look like
Rangers
they're having
homer.
fun
Yeah.
out there, right? Scoring
Yeah.
goals. I think as far as chemistry, they're bringing it together, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think there's some other big news, man, as far as, the Malkin injury for the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
Penguins, man. That's pretty huge for them. I mean, that's going to be tough for them to
Yikes.
Pittsburgh's
over.
in a tough spot right now, I think, especially, there's going to be, everybody's going to talk all season about Kessel going to Arizona. And especially now with this injury, that's 82 points plus whatever Malkin.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big pill to swallow right there. And then, Murray is a big question right now. He's a big sieve right now, I think.
Yeah.
Jeez. I hate to pile on that guy when he's trying to figure it out. But good.
Poor Pittsburgh. What's going on with their quarterbacks down there, too?
don't,
I think,
yeah.
wasn't it, who's the Deion Sanders, right? Did you guys see that? He, Primetime, yeah. He called it. Did you guys see that? He said, I will guarantee you guys that Ben Roethlisberger, within 5 games, I think it was 4 or 5 games of the regular NFL season, will either A, retire, B, just quit, or 3, get hurt. He goes, it's going to happen. And everyone's like, you're crazy. It's not going to happen. And sure enough. And the reason they were saying that is just because he doesn't have the drive anymore. But anyways, yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins, we're talking about. They, you're right, Rob. I didn't even think about that. That's a lot of goals between Malkin and Kessel. They got to fill that. And then Murray's letting in a couple goals.
How about Edmonton 3-0?
Ooh, finally.
Yeah, I mean, it's early, but
You get lucky or what?
that's what you want to see out of the best, the best player in arguably one of the best players in the NHL, right?
Yeah, top 3.
You got to see that out of Edmonton. You got to see that out of Tampa. Calgary, you're expecting those, out of the gates.
Yep. And then you got Anaheim in that division 3-0 too. Who's expecting that? So
Yeah.
Two unexpected right there. I mean, we're only 3 games in. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but
San Jose picking up Marleau. I mean, maybe that's the missing link there. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. San Jose.
Edmonton will be a below 500 team, no doubt about it.
It's like I said, same thing as last year. Who knows?
We got 80 games to go, right? Or 78.
I just wanted to bring something up real quick, just because I think I don't know who was watching the Minnesota Wild game, their last game maybe. A high stick. The topic's a high stick. That's what I want to talk about. So, what I think is a high stick is anytime you touch the puck above the shoulders. If I touch the puck above my shoulders, I always believed it was immediately the whistle was blown, the puck's dead, right? So no matter what, so defense, offense, if it's a high stick, usually, it can be a delayed penalty. Referee throws his hand up, just typical delayed penalty, and then they blow it down. But I think Mark and I were texting each other the last Minnesota game. I want to say it was Granlund, the player that was traded from Minnesota to who are they playing? Jesus.
Nashville,
yeah.
Nashville, yeah.
Granlund tapped the puck out of the air. It hit his player's visor and went into the net. And the announcers were saying, well, it was a high stick, but it touched his player's visor. And to myself, and I think I text Mark and you guys, and I was like, well, a high stick's a high stick. You got to blow the whistle, right? So anyways, what I'm getting to, and they took the goal back, just to let everyone know. And what I'm getting to is Matthew Tkachuk's goal last night. Did you guys see Matthew Tkachuk's goal last night?
I did not.
Uh,
I did, yes.
so he tapped it twice to himself. So the first one was definitely a high stick, and then the second one he tapped it in the net. So what I'm going back to is the original high stick, the first tap. Shouldn't the whistle be blown and it's a high stick?
I thought it was a play on. If the other team makes the next play, then it's off. But if you hit the puck above your shoulders to yourself or to your team, that's when the play stops.
Well, he hit it to himself.
Right. So with that being said, the first hit, which was above his shoulders.
What's the ruling? Do we have an NHL rule on that?
I don't have it. I mean, I can check.
But what do you guys
say though? If he hit it over to himself, it's the second hit that stops the play. As soon as you touch the puck again, the whistle is blown and the play is done. So there's no way he could have scored because as soon as he touched it, the play stops, even if the puck did go to the back of the net.
But they called it a good goal.
They called it a good goal.
So high sticking in the NHL is an infraction when the player inadvertently plays the puck with his or her stick above the height of the shoulders or the crossbar in hockey. A penalty is assessed. That's it. That's all they have. So, I mean, I don't know why everyone's been confused in the NHL lately. There's been 2 high stickings, and the announcers, to me, seem confused. And I just always took it as soon as you hit that puck as a high stick, it's a delayed penalty, or you blow the whistle dead. I don't care what happens after that.
I don't remember it. I mean, to hit the puck out of the air above your shoulders, that's a penalty. I thought it stops play.
Yeah, I thought it would stop play too. I didn't realize it was a penalty.
That's what I didn't realize it was a penalty either. It must be.
Well, I'm saying a high stick, sometimes if it touches another person's helmet or something, they'll give you a penalty. But just think of this as a hockey player, right? And if we're on the ice, if you're playing in a hockey game and you batted a puck in the air, way above you hit it, and then you hit it again, do you think you're not going to get a whistle?
It stops play, right?
You should. You definitely should. Yep, you definitely should.
Face off.
Yeah, bad call.
I don't know. Anyways, I just had to bring that up.
And just on that subject, talking about the Wild, they played the Avs the other night, and fuck, they look good, man. They look really good. And their power play is phenomenal, right? So one of the things that Minnesota needs to work on, in my opinion, is their power play. I mean, they're struggling just to get a shot. It's not fine-tuned yet. And then they took a lot of penalties in that game because it just seems that's the way things are going. But when Colorado got a penalty, I mean, watch out. I mean, you need to be on point on your penalty.
They're only going to get better too, boys.
I'm quickly growing as not a supporter of Brucey anymore. I'm losing all patience with the way he shuffles.
That's what we were raised with.
It would
That's
make me so
high school
mad.
hockey for us.
It would make me so mad though if I didn't have a consistent. You get some chemistry with one guy and you want to play with that guy, and then the next thing you know, you don't play for 3 more periods with that person. And
just playing devil's advocate, Rob, what would you do if you're not winning as a coach? What do you do? So I just remember as growing up playing hockey and winning state championships as we all did, and Brownie, our coach, he shuffled the lines. I mean, as a GM, you have to find chemistry. As a coach, you have to find chemistry. So the GM gives you a pile, and then you take that pile and find chemistry.
The players on the ice are the only chemistry that matters. It's nice that a GM made the decision to get the guy in. It's nice that the coach is putting guys together. But if they do not skate and they don't complement each other on the ice, and it doesn't result as a goal in the back of the net, then you're wasting your breath. We're having the wrong conversation.
I think maybe Rob's argument, I think where he's coming from with Boudreau, anyways, is that it seems like when I watch the games, it seems like they have lines together that seem to have good chemistry, and then he fucking switches those ones up. You know what I mean? It's like so. It's like it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think that's where Rob's coming from as far as what he's saying about Boudreaux, because that's. I mean, I don't want to speak for Robbie, but I think that's where when I watched the Wild last year and stuff, it would be like, all those guys that were just together last game I just watched seemed like they were really gelling, and then you watch the game after that, and like power play is different,
Totally.
like second line's different, it's like first line's different. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's had a lot of success in the league though, so I mean, you can't argue with him too much, but it can be kind of maddening as somebody watching from the outside looking in.
Frustrating because I'm watching from the outside, like you said, you can see the chemistry, and it's like, just put these guys together, please.
Yeah,
it's always like he's post game interviews, always like he's digging food out of his teeth or something.
Just to touch on that a little bit, the preseason they had Greenway, Eck, and Foligno, and there was a lot of talk about how good that line is playing because they're all big. They were all big guys, and they were battling, and they were winning the pucks in the corners, and they were making things happen. And
better switch that shit up then.
They haven't played together since. So, I mean, that's kind of one side of the argument. The other thing I want to touch on is that they do have goal scorers, right? They just can't seem to score. I mean, you have Zucker can score, Zuccarello, Parise, Donato, Fiala has got great hands. Stahl, hasn't been doing much. Dumba's actually produced. He's been doing what he's supposed to be doing. We need to get more out of guys like Koivu, the captain. A little bit more.
Hasn't done much.
So they do have these guys that can produce, and now they have their fourth line. They have Hartman, Foligno, and Eck, and that's a pretty good line. They're good grinders, and they're doing their job. I mean, they're not really expected to put up major stats on the stat sheet, but those top three lines need to start producing a little bit. And I don't know if that's why he's switching the lines up so much, because they're not getting that production out of the top three. But, they got to figure something out where they can score. They got to figure out their power play. They're doing well in their man down because they seem like they're always man down. They take a lot of penalties. But
it's early, of course. It's early. We're 3 games in. And I just think he's already stirred the pot so much. It's like sometimes you have to kind of just step back and let the players figure out where the chemistry is. You can sit there and tell me that I can see the chemistry with these guys, but if I don't feel it, and I'm not making that chemistry on the ice, then, it's just, I get frustrated watching that kind of stuff.
And
listen, though, I mean, if with Billy Guerin as a new GM there, right, it's not going to be the same old. You know what I mean? Boudreaux doesn't have anything, sealed in stone out there as far as being the head coach of that team for any duration of time. You know what I mean? Guerin, it's only, I mean, Guerin's going to put his stamp on that team really, really quickly. He probably, I would say Boudreaux, I don't know if there's a connection between him and Guerin. Usually in all of professional sports, there's always some like tree of connection that goes with a GM and a coach and all the makeup of the hierarchy of a team. But, he might be on a short leash with Guerin. You have no idea now that they have new GM out there. So there's a lot of different dynamic going on. So, as far as how he coaches and the shit that infuriates us, maybe eventually it'll infuriate Guerin too. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, they have a good squad. I would think that the guys in the locker room could just figure that kind of shit out.
Yeah, I don't personally like.
There is such a thing as overcoaching.
I personally don't like the line being Zuccarello and Parise on the same line. They're like one of the same. They're grinders. They're fast. They're quick. They're mucking it up in the corners. They're getting garbage goals. Switch those guys up, right? Put them on different lines.
They're two grinders. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're in front of the net getting their scrappy goals. My opinion, why you got 2 of those guys on one line?
They're both lefties. I mean, they are almost identical.
So that when I see that, I kind of thought that should be broken up a little bit. The centers are kind of the same. You got Koivu and Stahl, similar players. They're older. They don't have the speed they used to have, stuff like that. And so, I mean, I guess he's doing what he's got to do to try to get these guys motivated and, get them some confidence. And maybe that's what he's doing.
I always was the grinder, the finesse player, and the shooter, right? That chemistry always seemed. You had the grinder in the corners, digging the puck out, giving it, to the finesse player, who the finesse player makes 2 moves and gives it to the shooter.
Well, it depends on the system that they're running in each organization, but
Right, yeah.
yes, that is a very effective system. They've been doing it for years.
They're both big playmakers. Zuccarello, man, he's a big assist guy. He makes plays. He can make plays happen for other players, and I think Parise is the same way. So you probably ought to split those guys up, frankly. I mean,
Yeah.
really, you really should have those guys split up. I agree with you completely, Mark. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense
Yeah.
to have those guys on the same line, because you can put, those guys should be on, lines 1 and 2, and have those guys feeding other players and popping in goals too at the same time. But
I see Ryan Donato as possibly that third, the same thing, but maybe a third line option. And then you stratified even 3 lines of feisty people. They put the puck on the net. They tend to have good luck and score. They do well, I'll say.
What do you boys? I stepped out for a minute, but what do you boys been thinking about Toronto? What do you guys think about them coming out of the gates? Man, to me, I just think their firepower is unreal. I mean,
there's almost too many guns on them right now, and they haven't quite figured out how
42
to
shots on goal, 52 shots on goal. I mean, when those boys come into your barn, that goalie is gonna you better be ready, because you're gonna see some shots.
Taste some rubber, baby.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
Matthews has been having stellar game. I think he had opening night. He had another 2 goals. He's up on top of the top 5 most points for opening NHL night or something.
You guys remember Matthews had 4 his first year.
His first game in the NHL.
First game ever in the Shell, he had 4. And then the next year he had 1. Next year he had 1. And then this year he had 2. So that puts him at 8 goals in the first game of opening night. He's got to be in the conversation for one of the best right now.
The thing that I see that's really working in their advantage in Toronto is that they've got all the controversy behind them. Matthews has been signed. Nylander got signed. They got Marner. Yeah, they got all these guys signed already, right?
They bought Matthews a belt so his pants aren't falling down.
Yeah, and the other piece of the puzzle is that they named their captain. That's been all over the media for the last 2 years or whatever, right? So it seems like now they can focus on hockey, and there's not all the bullshit surrounding when is this guy going to sign, when's this guy going to sign, who's going to be the captain, all the bullshit that none of the players really care about, right? So now it seems like that organization can just focus on winning.
Good point. That's a good point, Mark. What do you think opposing goalies are doing when they come into play Toronto? Do you think they put on some long johns, extra pair of fucking combat Nike gear? Like, they're gonna get peppered all night long, man. They're probably putting on some extra equipment, I think.
I would think they're wearing an adult diaper, because
that too, yeah. Diaper first, then the long johns, then the combat gear, then.
Oh, those boys are nasty.
Yeah.
You see Dubnyk save the other night where he did like a 360 glove save? That was all over.
That was on Granlund.
Yeah, it was on Granlund. Yeah, I think he was talking shit to Granlund after that too.
Yeah, I bet. I see Milan Lucci's been in a couple fights in his new uni. That's huge for Calgary to have. Kachuk will drop the gloves. You guys see the
Lucci sucker punched that dude one time. They didn't want to fight at all, so he just ended up friggin' blasting him in the face. I don't know if you saw that.
Did you guys see that, Lucci?
I saw that.
The King was it Kings? Yeah. So that was a good game. So they went into overtime, huge game, and then the whole scenario with Matthew Kachuk and Drew Doughty, right? They've been talking shit for the last 2 years, and then
he blasted him with an elbow.
Yeah, Kachuk. Yeah, blasted him with the elbow. That's what started it. Kachuk got 2 goals last night, and then Doughty scored the game winner. And so that was a little controversy.
Yeah, there's some more controversy because after he scored it, he went up to the glass, and I think the Calgary fans came and flipped him off.
Yeah.
And right back to him was like, suck it.
And then Milan Lucic had like some player. I don't know if you would say stuck his leg out. It was clean. Anyways, Milan didn't like that. And he went right after him and started feeding him. But
He
I
likes
like
his
his
new role in Calgary, and I think they
2
like
fights in 3
they
games.
like him there. Yeah,
Is that what he has? 3 fights in 3 games.
I think it's
No,
3 and
two fights in 3
I
games.
think it might be 3 and 3.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Even better.
Speaking of fight,
Dims right off the bat.
What about on this topic of fighting? Because usually fighting involves losing teeth and stuff at the NHL. How about Blake Coleman? Do you see this guy where he had? First of all, he's probably got the here we are 3-4 games into the year, and he's a candidate for probably the goal of the year when he got knocked down going into the zone there, and he was
one-handed.
sliding on his ass.
That was
Or
sick.
one-handed goal.
First
Pretty nasty.
shift back after getting his mouth, his teeth knocked.
Well, he had like fucking 7 emergency root canals or something. He lost 8 teeth, dude. 8 fucking teeth, and he missed 4 minutes of the game or something like that. 8 fucking teeth knocked out of from his own. He got hit in the mouth with his own teammate's stick.
Yeah, but last year LeBron, his middle
He got a
fingernail. No,
hangnail.
it was the whole a piece of it cracked.
Oh, how many games? What do you miss? Like 5 games?
He was out like a week. Yeah.
Well, you gotta realize
It's not even close.
you gotta get an appointment for a manicure. It takes a little time, I mean, but it's unreal. I mean, I can't believe these guys, man, lose 8 fucking teeth, and then you're back playing hockey like 4 minutes later and scoring goals. I mean,
another surprise fight we had.
One-handed flicks at that.
Unbelievable.
Sidney Crosby. You guys see Sidney Crosby?
I
He got a
did see
little
that.
tilt. He got a little fired up.
I ride Sidney Crosby a lot, and for me to say he's a giant squirt, I was refreshed to see him grab a hold and start going there. It was as a captain, they're struggling, they're not winning games. A fight or two might be one of the things that turn things around there. I liked it.
It was a bad hit on his teammate, right, or a high hit or something, and Crosby went after him. But I mean, as these guys get older in the league, Crosby would never even think about doing that his first 4 years in the league.
They're different guys in the league too.
Different breed. You got these kids that are 18 that look like Rossman Dallin out in Vancouver. His neck's bigger than his legs.
Rasmus Dallin is Buffalo.
Whoever the kid is out in who am I thinking of in Vancouver? Remember we were talking about him. He got hit so hard his neck did a whiplash.
They do have that 18-year-old defenseman playing out in Vancouver now. He's pretty wet behind the ears. I saw him play a little bit last week. But
who's the player I'm talking about out in
Pedersen?
Vancouver? Is it
Pedersen? Pedersen's a goal scorer. Pedersen.
I'm talking about the defenseman. He has a long neck.
Hold on, let me Google long neck defenseman.
Long neck defenseman for Vancouver. He's a star. I can't believe I'm wet brain right now.
Pencil neck.
Pencil neck.
All right.
A lot of excitement, though. A lot of excitement. I know teams that I saw that I think are going to be contenders that I haven't seen every game, but I thought the Avalanche played very, very well when I saw them. Not even, just the chemistry that they had on their power play was amazing 3 games in. I just think that they have a really sharp group on that unit that's going to, if you get penalties against the Avs, you're going to be fucked.
Yeah, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Pedersen, that's what I was talking about. I'm calling right now for all the listeners and you
Pedersen's not a
boys.
defenseman, though.
Colorado Avalanche is going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Oh, jeez.
Look,
Yeah, I was impressed.
That's how good I am.
Yeah.
That's a bold prediction right there.
Yeah, they were good, man. They look good. I don't know. The only thing about them is their goaltending.
I don't think it's that risky.
I don't know if they got the goaltending to go all the way. But they definitely have the.
Oh,
the
you said
firepower.
San Jose is going to be good this year. They're like 0-4.
Here we go.
They're just warming up, buddy.
Talk to me in a couple of weeks. We'll see what the
San
San
Jose has about 6 guys on the above 50 points. So I wouldn't be. And then they just got Marlowe in.
Yeah,
That's
that's
at 83.
Wine or-
Arnold, Couture, Maurer, Pavelski, Kane. Pavelski's not there anymore, though, right? He's in Dallas.
He's in Dallas. Yep.
yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think they've lost enough where they're not going to be some kind of contender. But like I said, you know, are Anaheim and Edmonton going to produce? Who knows? Still a little early.
I think Edmonton's going to do much better. I mean, they can only go up, right? So I think they're going to do a little bit better. I still don't
Look,
think they have,
I don't know.
have enough people
I don't know
around.
how we can say that with the best player on the planet, right? Every player from the worst guy in the NHL to the number one star, the goal of the season is to win a Stanley Cup. So your measurement is to get to the finals, to win a cup, right? So if Edmonton does not make it to playoffs, if they do not make it to, 1, 2, 3 rounds in, that has to be a failure of a season. I don't care if you're scoring 116, the second, was he the first or second, highest points in the league, and you're not even making playoffs. What's it for?
Yeah.
What are you getting paid millions and millions of dollars for? I'm sorry, I don't see that.
Yeah. Well, it'd be tough for him to go anywhere else. I don't think that team's going to let him go unless
No, of course not. But
unless he takes a paid, a decrease in his pay. That's the only way he's going to leave Edmonton, right? They're not gonna. They're gonna give him the maximum amount of money no matter what. He is Wayne Gretzky again in Edmonton. Until LA offers something up, he's not going anywhere. You're right though, Rob. What's 115 goals if you haven't been to playoffs only twice in your career? First round.
Playoffs. Well, boys,
that to me is a pretty big disconnect right there.
any other teams you want to touch on? The Habs,
They
Sens.
still have a team. They
Still
beat
playing
Maple
hockey.
Leaf.
Yeah,
I think, just in the first 4 games, I confirmed Derek hit this. I think we all talk about Vegas. Vegas is going to be a solid team coming out of the Pacific.
Next year
Calgary,
we can talk about Seattle.
Next year,
Philly might be a contender this year. You never know, man.
Winnipeg's
know.
going right down
yeah.
the tube.
I was surprised New Jersey is one, after I looked. Definitely the big hype around Taylor Hall. What was he? He was like not even on the list. He had 37 points last year. And
Was he hurt though?
He was injured half the season.
injured, and what was it, his first or second year?
Yeah. He's new.
Yeah.
3 years max.
3 years maybe? Okay. So,
Big baby ass.
to get that kind of money, I would expect more than 37 fucking points. I mean, I'd be wanting him to get 55, 60, 70 point season this
Right.
year.
Well, if he stays healthy, I think you'll see that production's pretty good. He's a decent player. I think Derek's a big Halsey fan, so.
We got someone in the
McLovin.
studios tonight. McLovin.
What's up, fellas?
Oh my God, blast from the past. What's
You
up?
two back in the closet together. Awesome.
Yeah, we're back in the closet. We're all going to the Syracuse football game versus NC State tomorrow. Me, Rob, and Matty B here. So I'll let you guys talk to Matty B for a bit while I drain the anaconda.
Water snake.
McLovin.
Hello. What's up?
How was the
fellas?
flight, Mateo?
It was good. It was good. Happy to be here.
All right, for you listeners, we do have Matty B Bush on the show right now, stepping in for a little commentary while the anaconda's getting drained by Lardy, and he's down in Raleigh tonight. What's up, Matty?
Not much, guys. Just got in a little while ago. Happy to be here. North Carolina.
There you go.
Hollywood.
Gonna have to move out of New York City soon. Head south.
Never.
How about those Yankees, huh? A little sweep back.
Happy. Oh man, they're doing well. I hope they can keep it going though, you guys. Jeez, they always seem to disappoint, but They got the firepower.
Man, did you see that grand slam by Didi in this game too?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
They're
I
doing
feel
well.
like Matt, don't you feel like you'd rather see him play? I know Houston would be the favorite to come out of that series with Tampa, but I feel like Yankees always struggle playing Tampa Bay, don't you?
I do as well. Definitely in the same division and all that. So they got that. You don't ever want to play the Astros, though. Those guys have been really good for a few years going, though. So
Yeah.
either way, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, they got the pitch in Houston. Tough.
Verlander.
Yeah, they've got two guys that are just nasty. Two Cy Young candidates on the same team, so yeah, it's tough to beat. But the Yankees have been putting the bat on the ball, and they've been able to hit recently. And I don't know. I don't know if any pitcher's going to be able to keep them hitless, but it's just that lineup the Yankees have. Like everybody that comes up and hit the ball. You know,
Yeah.
what's Judge hitting like second? You got a guy like Judge, the number 2 guy in your lineup. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that means the other 8 are going to be.
Yeah, Stanton and fucking Sanchez and Didi. Gardner's been hitting the ball. I mean, they've all been playing pretty well. Gio, Torres. I mean, to go down that lineup, it's like, who's not going to hit it?
Isn't this a hockey podcast?
Here we go.
Are they talking about the whole basketball thing with China? Oh, thank God.
Yankee baseball.
Well, that's awesome, guys. You guys are gonna have we're watching we're gonna watch a Cuse NC State matchup in football on Thursday night, right? That's what the boys are in town for. So
Yeah, primetime football, ESPN. Should be a good game. We're down right on the sideline. Rob's the DD, so
Things are going to get weird.
last
gotta
night.
find a bunch of Doritos and nachos and set them in the corner.
Big gift of flowers. All right, boys, it's been a pretty good podcast tonight. It's time to wrap it up. The producers are in my ear again, so let's get on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of our social media accounts, and check us out, BlueLineHockeyClub.com for all of our episodes. And you can catch us on Twitter. Jesus Christ, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Pornhub, and all of your favorite podcast platforms as well. So get on, check out our 77 episodes that we have, so a lot to listen to. Catch up on that. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice.
Do you?
Oh, doctor.
Keep your head up.
Hit the audacity, boys. Hit your audacity off, Pat.
Oh, yeah.
What do I do?